If it doesn't stop raining in Britain soon, I think we're all gonna drown. So, this week, nerds, it is Childhood Book Week, because I told Martha to be awkward, and she did come up with some really good suggestions, and then she just picked this one, and it's not the one I would have picked out of all the ones she said in her video, but okay then. I don't really have that many to talk about specifically, because it's pretty much obvious in terms of my favourite books from my childhood, and the ones that I still like, so it's pretty much the same thing, but not really. So, I've got 4 authors and 4 kind of book type things to talk about. Not really much, it's just the main ones which I feel, you know, defined my childhood and made me who I am today. So, I will start off now, and similarly to Martha, I was a vast enjoyer of the Chronicles of Narnia. I used to read The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe pretty much every year, maybe like 4 or 5 times a year. Hence why this copy, which I don't even think was mine in the first place, is so battered and creased and well loved. And it's really old as well because it's really cheap. Cheap. This was my favourite cover ever because Aslan, the artwork is exquisite, and I always used to think that the White Witch looked like my mum, which wasn't the biggest compliment, I'll admit. This series just really made me enjoy reading, and the worlds which C.S. Lewis created, although, like, he used God and religion as the basis for some of his characters, I am not religious, but he made me want to be, in the sense that I wanted to sort of look up to Aslan, because Aslan is the sort of metaphor, or simile if you like, for God in the series. And it made me just want to enjoy it even more and understand the concepts and the origins of the story. But yeah, this series was really good, and all the characters just made me love it. Even Edmund, who was my least favourite, for obvious reasons. But in the later books, obviously, he becomes a lot better than he is in this one. And everything just develops and becomes gorgeous. And then in the last battle, we all perish. Well, not perish, but cry because of things. There is nothing better than the Chronicles of Narnia, in my opinion, other than, like, Skullduggery Pleasant. But anyway, I don't know if Martha mentioned, but I assume she did. It is Harry Potter by Miss J.K. Rowling. And I actually read something really inspirational, either on Twitter or Tumblr the other day, because I have Tumblr now, because I'm cool, about how, seeing as J.K. Rowling's donated so much to charity, she is no longer a billionaire. She is a I'm such a fail. She's a mere millionaire. There, that's it. Right, she's a mere millionaire because she's donated so much to charity that she's gone back down from the billions to millions, and that just really inspired me. And after looking it up a bit more, she's actually founded a charity of her own called Lumos, which helps children in need. Honestly, she's just a really inspirational person, and her books were like the first books that I ever read, even before the Chronicles of Narnia. And it was the Harry Potter books which just made me get into reading in the first place, and made me sort of love reading and the worlds which you could enter via reading. And I really appreciate everything that she did for me, because really this is one of the most defining books of my childhood. The Philosopher's Stone came out in the same year I was born, so obviously there was a tie there. And another tie was that my mum was actually considering calling me Hermione, and I came into the world a few months before this did, so imagine if I had been called Hermione. How freaky would that have been? Yeah, I have some serious emotional ties and historical links with this book, and I really appreciate the journey which J.K. Rowling took me on, because it was magical, brilliant, and Hogwarts will be there when I die to welcome me home, because that's how it works. That's how it works. Next, we have Mr. Roald Dahl. And I've picked out Matilda because it's my favourite book of his, I think, out of all of them. This book defines me as a person because it is exactly like me. She's just basically me, but not me. Everything he wrote just really was funny, witty, really a good read, and especially Matilda was relatable, and you could connect to it and you could just understand everything that she was going through. And Roald Dahl, to me, was one of my idols, one of my writing idols, and he still is, because he managed to captivate an entire audience and keep them there, book after book after book, and I can't do that yet, so I'm looking up to him because I want to become like him. Because he managed to pull me in every book he wrote, keep me there, entertain me, and then finally, in some of them, break my heart and make me feel happy and, you know, lively and all that kind of stuff. So I really appreciate everything he did, and I'm still hoping to aspire to be like him and become as successful as he is, even though I doubt I will ever reach anything even remotely similar. Moving on again. Final person I have is Miss Enid Blyton, who, well, I used to read loads and loads and loads of her stuff. I mean, I have the main kind of 3 series she wrote. I don't know how many she wrote, but my favourites were always The Secret 7, The Famous 5, and this one is actually my personal favourite, even though it's probably the least known. It's The Naughtiest Girl, and even though I'm nothing like Elizabeth, she was one of my favourite characters of the entire Enid Blyton collection, which I developed. And I just basically think that Enid Blyton is one of the best female authors, certainly, that I know of, and every story that she ever wrote just pulled me in. It really defined me, and I loved how she included several different things in every single story, and even if they were really short stories, she managed to do things. And in books such as The Six Bad Boys and what book? I don't know what the other one is, but she wrote a lot of things, which I think it was The Castle of Adventure. Is it? I don't know. But she wrote The Wishing Chair as well, I believe, and The Wishing Chair were just, gosh, that was one of my favourite TV shows. Because I remember they had a cartoon as well, didn't they? And basically everything that she ever did, I loved. And alongside the other 3, which I have mentioned, she is honestly one of my favourite authors of all time, and everything that she wrote defined my childhood. And that brings the video to a close, because they are everything. So we had Mr. Roald Dahl, we had Harry Potter and J.K. Rowling in general, and then we had the Chronicles of Narnia with the awesome artwork. I'll have to show you guys these covers actually sometime. I don't really know what to say other than I hope you enjoyed the video, and Mads, I'll see you tomorrow. And if anyone has any suggestions for, you know, themes, we've run out, as you've probably guessed from yesterday's video, feel free to leave those in the comments and we will review them and see if we like any. So I'll see you all next week, guys, and just DFTBA, because you are awesome. Bye!